Yesterday I got extremely lucky and got to go back to Epic Universe. And more importantly for this video, I got to go on Battle at the Ministry, which I'm kind of shocked about because it was on a virtual queue system, which was having a bit of a rough time when we were there. It's still during preview, so I'm hoping it'll get better. But yeah, we have managed to nab one of the last times for it, and I actually got to experience the ride. Now, in this video, I'm not going to be going in depth with spoilers or anything. Like my last first impressions video, I'm just going to be kind of giving you my thoughts on the ride, and kind of just if I liked it or not. So yeah, let's get into it. First off, we gotta talk about the theming, the queue, everything. I mean, the queue is incredible. If you haven't seen photos of the inside, you've probably seen the renders, and the renders do it justice, I would say. Like, maybe with the exception of the ceiling, which I personally think looks pretty good still, even if it isn't, like, you know, mist or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, just that first reveal, you go through the flu network, not the virus, but you go through the flu network and you see that massive building and it's like, oh my gosh, it is one of the coolest, it's probably the best queue room ever. I know there were people comparing it to the ship on Rise of the Resistance, when you go on the little ship and then you get captured by the Star Destroyer, and then you know, you exit the door and you're like, oh my gosh, it's huge. This is better than that. I really think so. It doesn't have that pre-show element, but the like reveal of it's really that good. Like, it's the scale is unbelievable, and the rest of the queue is so cool as well. Like, how you kind of go into all these different rooms and all these tiles and like little details. Again, I'm gonna try not to spoil anything about the queue and the ride itself, but it's just unbelievable. Like, I know I made my top 10 queues video. I think I might have talked about this in my first impressions, because I did get to go in the queue on my first time, but I think this is the best queue in the world, like, pretty handedly. I really like that Flight of Passage queue, but this kind of takes that and one-ups it, because like all the environments are so well themed and so different. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And my thought on my first walkthrough of the queue is like, you know, if the queue is this good, like, how good will the ride be? And I guess that means we should talk about the ride. So if you've seen some of my videos before, you kind of know what the ride system is like. It's basically an elevator lift on top of the Spider-Man ride vehicle. So it's like, you know, you get the motion of the Spider-Man ride vehicle with also kind of the drops and everything like that. I will say though, it doesn't feel like Tower of Terror 1. The drops are not like even like the end of Rise of the Resistance. It's not like that where you're like getting airtime off the drops or anything. It's not that crazy. So if you're worried about that, I wouldn't worry. But it's not like Spider-Man either. Like, it really doesn't feel like the twisting and turning and shaking of Spider-Man. I don't really know how to describe it, and I feel bad because I feel like everyone when they talk about this ride is like, I don't even know how to describe it, and I can imagine that's frustrating for someone who hasn't rode it yet. So I'll try. I mean, you do go up and down, you kind of notice it. Again, you don't get like airtime off the drops, but I don't know. I wish I could fully describe it for you, but the motion is just crazy. It's unlike any other ride system I've ever been on. And then you have the ride itself, which is just I mean, I need some time to sit with it, but like I went, well, the entire time I was like, oh my god, like, this is really happening. Like, I was just freaking out the whole ride. And like there was stuff going on that You know, this happens with rides sometimes, like Rise of the Resistance. You know, when the lightsaber pierces the roof, you're like, how did they do that? Like, literally, how did they do that? And same with the going in the little ship for the pre-show and exiting through the same door you entered. You're like, how? Literally, how? And there's so many moments like that on this ride. Like, the scale, this is not really a spoiler. You're on an elevator. All the elevator segments, I couldn't even comprehend how they did it. Like, I have like vague ideas, but I'm like, I literally don't know how you did it. And yeah, the scale of the ride, and I'm just gonna compare it to Monsters, not to like bring down Monsters, because I love Monsters, and I loved it even more this second visit. So trust me, when that review comes, you'll hear my praises. But the scale is so huge in comparison. It's like, I mean, you can see the ride building from the outside. It must be like 5 stories at least, and the scenes like are just massive. And Unchained, again, really good and really detailed, and in a lot of ways it is better than Ministry, but just the scale of Ministry is kind of unmatched by any other ride I've done. I mean, Rise of the Resistance would be the only one that I could really compare it to, honestly. Yeah, and then as for the mix of screens and practical effects, I would say there are more screens, but I mean, there are rides like Spider-Man where Spider-Man is a lot of screens, but the mix of practical sets and screens is what makes that ride so good. And I would say that's the same case here. There are some scenes where I'm like, this is a bit too many screens maybe, but I didn't really feel that a lot. I felt like it was a good mixture of practical and screens. And as for the animatronics, I thought they were mostly pretty good. I know some people have some complaints over them. I won't go into more detail than that. And that aspect, again, you'll know, that aspect did bother me a bit, but it wasn't that big of a deal. I felt especially because a lot of the animatronics didn't have the problems that some of them do. Again, I'm trying to be very, very vague here. Yeah, so I'm trying to think of what else to say that I can't just like spoil the ride for. I guess I walked off this and immediately I was like, I'm gonna have to like reconsider my top 10 dark rides. I'm gonna have to consider like, what is my favorite dark ride in the world? And yeah, I mean, it's really good. You gotta do it. And oh, the other thing I was gonna mention, okay, this is my one complaint. Not really a complaint, but just a note. Out of any ride in the park that would make you motion sick, this would be the one. It's I don't even get motion sick, but like there were some scenes where I was like, whoa, okay. So just keep that in mind if you have motion sickness. I wouldn't say it's a problem for Unchained, or probably even Mario Kart, but it would be a problem for this ride. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, that's not a major complaint or anything, just kind of a part of the ride that you gotta accept. And yeah, with all that said, I think that's it. That's my first impressions of Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. Be sure to stay tuned because I'll be reviewing all of these rides in the future after opening day. So subscribe and check out this video to see my first impressions of the overall park. Thanks for watching. See you all next time.